Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Ask Clint Sons. I'm Joshua and joining me once again, the steak master that I'm going to refer to him as this time, Mr. Josh Cook. Josh, how are you doing today?
Good. Glad to be here.
Good. So, the reason I call you steak master is because you know about this and I have to admit this. The other day I couldn't tell the difference on my steaks. So, I thought, let's make this an educational experience for me and the audience and talk about different cuts of steaks.
Okay.
Okay, so first question is this. What's the difference between a ribeye steak and a Kansas City strip?
So they're touching on a cow. They touch each other, but they're from a different part of the loin. The loin would be the back of a cow. If you were looking down on a cow, it'd be the back of a cow. And a single cut separates a ribeye from a KC strip. But as far as flavor and tenderness go, there's a pretty big difference between the two. A ribeye is more on the chuck end of the cow. The chuck end has more fat. A ribeye has more fat. On a beef, the fat equals flavor. So a ribeye has more flavor, and fat also equals tender. So a ribeye is more tender than a KC strip. That said, KC strip is the favorite steak of many folks. A KC strip is it doesn't have as much fat, so anybody who likes a leaner steak, it's definitely a good option there. It's also a little bit different textured steak. Just the portion of the cow that it gets a different amount of use than the ribeye does. So it's got a little bit different texture. It's a little finer textured than a ribeye is. It's not quite as coarse, and it's got a little bit different fat on even on the top side of it than a ribeye does. A ribeye, a lot of the fat cooks down when you're grilling it, except for maybe the tail of a ribeye. Pretty much all the outside fat shrinks down when you're cooking it. On a KC strip, the fat's just a little bit different makeup, and it doesn't cook down along the backside quite as much. A KC strip, if you have a T-bone, KC strip is the big side of a T-bone. So anytime you're eating a T-bone, what you're eating is a KC strip and a tenderloin. The bigger the portion of the tenderloin, on the bigger end of the T-bones, the ones that have the really big tenderloin are actually called porterhouses. And those have a full-size tenderloin and a full-size KC strip. So that's why a porterhouse at a steakhouse or something is a much larger steak and more expensive, because it is a full tenderloin and a full KC strip.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I did not know that, but now I feel a little bit more educated and a little bit more like know what kind of steaks I want. If I really want something with flavor, I should go more with a ribeye and all that, right?
Yeah, and to each their own. You know, a lot of people really like a KC strip. I'm a ribeye guy. I would take a ribeye over even a fillet. Fillet is the most expensive cut on a beef, and I would take a ribeye over fillet any day of the week.
I think
any day of the week. But I like the fat on there. I like the flavor from the fat. So that's more my cup of tea. So to each their own.
To each their own. Speaking of steaks and all that, that steak that you just had, that T-bone, it's on our pickup site. Do we have a lot of certain steaks?
So we got a lot of good steaks on there. What I've got quite a few of at a really good price right now is some prime stuff. I've got these. This is a prime T-bone. This camera's not going to do this steak justice, and it's also frozen, so it's a little hard to see. But this steak is just covered up with marbling. So if you wanted to try the difference between a KC and a ribeye, buy you a prime T-bone, because I don't think I have any prime strips, but buy you a prime T-bone and buy you a prime ribeye and have your own taste test. But I've got a lot of prime ribeyes. I've got a lot of prime T-bones on the pickup site, clintonsonspickup.com. Josh could put it at the bottom, and so make sure you check that out. Make sure you see. We've got ribeyes, we've got strips, we've got some Delmonico's to add. I don't know if they're on there, but we've got some Delmonico's that'll probably be added by the time this video comes out. So if you're a Delmonico fan, we're getting ready to have some more of those back in stock. We've got T-bones, ribeyes, sirloins, Delmonico's. some of this new specialty stuff that we're cutting on. So there's about any kind of steak you could want. There's one available at clintsonspickup.com that you can shop from the comfort of your own home. Look through all of our steaks. Look at our steak sizing guideline that kind of suggests what thickness you want for what you're doing with it. And so you can make sure you get the right steak for what you're doing, and pick you some steaks out, put them through on Clint Sons Pickup, and either let them, if you live in White Deer or Pampa, let us deliver them to you, or swing by and pick them up. You can do curbside pickup if you like, or you can swing in the store and they'll have it ready to go with your name on it, just quick and easy.
Perfect. And you said specialty. So what do we got in specialty?
So we started doing some specialty stuff that's only available at the pickup website. One of the things that we started doing last week is a steak finger. We've always done a good cube steak. We sell them to lots of restaurants around the area, and so what I've done is take one of our good cube steaks and strip it down for people and clean it up and square it up and make some really good steak fingers. So if you're a steak finger fan, go to the pickup site, because that's money. And then this one is a steak cut that has been cut into kebab size pieces. Those kebab size pieces have been seasoned with the Clint Sons steak rub to make sure that they've got a lot of good flavor on them. We then let them marinate, vacuum pack them so that they get that seasoning all around them, all in the goodness there. Put it on a stick and have it ready to go on the grill. You can read the description on Clint Sons Pickup, but you'll notice in there something that I kept getting asked by everybody when we were making them. Where's the vegetables? And I said, you know what? Why would you put vegetables on something when you have steak, and more delicious steak? Why are you gonna put veggies on there?
Well, I know some people would like some veggies, but it doesn't mean that you can't, put some veggies in between.
And so what I suggest is, because veggies and steak don't cook at the same temperature. Mm-hmm. So what I suggest, if you want to do some veggies, that's great. Grab you some skewers, skewer you some veggies. Let them get cooking. That way they can kind of get softened up, because if you're going to put something on there like a potato or like some kind of squash or something, it requires a little time to cook. Right. And you don't want your meat getting well done while your veggies are cooking. So you get your veggies about where you want them. Throw this on there, get it to medium rare. You got a steak kebab, you got a veggie kebab. Put them together, you got dinner.
Yes, you do, and that really sounds really good. I kind of want to get some right now.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. This package right here is only $6 for 3 big kebabs. I think each of those kebabs has 4 or 5 pieces on it. They're pretty big pieces, so that's a good value right there.
And trust me on this, they looked really good whenever I was prepping them the other day. So trust me, these look like a really good item, and you should really try them and all that. So.
Yeah.
Well, we did questions about steaks, but we didn't have any viewer submitted questions this week, unfortunately. But don't worry, because we always say, if you would like to ask us a question, whether about steak, jerky, anything like that, you can always ask us at ask@clintsons.com. And if your question is read on air, we will give you a free bag of jerky saying thank you for your question and all that. And I actually had somebody in the community say, "Where's my question?" And I said, we gotta get Justin or Joe or Johnny on here, so I'm gonna have to talk with them, and I'm nervous to do that, Josh.
Yeah.
But we'll get them eventually. We'll get them eventually. I think they'd be excited to be on here with us.
I think they would.
Josh, thank you very much for the little bit of educational that we got about steaks and all of that, and hopefully we can sell some of this stuff this week.
Always happy to talk meat.
And this is the perfect time to order now, because when this video goes out, it'll be just before Memorial Day weekend. So now's the time to order if you want to get some good quality meats for your Memorial Day cookout. So
lots to choose from. Make sure you're utilizing that ClintonSonsPickup.com. To the best of my knowledge, it is the only butcher shop in the Texas Panhandle, if maybe not the state of Texas, that you can shop while on your couch in your pajamas. There's not a lot of butcher shops that you can have that level of comfort while you're looking at some delicious meat.
Innovation at Clint Sons. I like it.
The very leading edge of technology. That's where we are.
Yes, exactly. Josh, thank you again for all your knowledge and all that, and I can't wait to order some of this for myself. So again, thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely. ClintSonsPickup.com. Check it out.
Pickup.com. And thank you everyone for watching. Again, if you want to ask us any questions, submit it to us at ask@ClintonSons.com, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.